That's an interesting question. For the longest time growing up, I actually wanted to be a pastor. I was raised a Christian, and my faith was very important to me throughout childhood and high school. And that's what I wanted to do. In a weird kind of way, I sort of feel like I've still ended up pursuing this ultimate goal of getting up in front of people and leading them through an experience that I hope brings some meaning to their lives and makes them feel better about who they are as a person. So just didn't go the way I expected. Yes and no. That's a very common concern. I would say that probably the most immediate response I can think of to that is I seem to be pretty fine in an interview today in front of a crowd. This is something that, public speaking, part of it is I've just always been kind of an attention whore. But get up in front of a crowd and just interacting with people in general, it's something that I don't struggle with, and part of that was growing up. Homeschoolers are actually incredibly social. That's one thing people don't know. The difference is they're social with a specific group. So I hung out with other Christian parents homeschooling their Christian kids. So my worldview was very sheltered by that, but my social skills not so much. I was interacting with little kids all the way up to adults. So I learned to communicate with a wide age range of people. It was more being stuck in one religious worldview that I think really held me back, which I don't think is necessarily a fault of homeschooling so much as I was homeschooled as a means to control that. I'm working on a song right now called Pearls, which was inspired in part by my last performance, also inspired by the occasionally derisive attitudes I encounter from people my age or older who, I just turned 28 on Monday, and by this point in life, the pressure to conform is definitely there. People are looking at you saying, why aren't you doing something more productive with your life? Do you have a house, you have a job, you have a car, you have a 9 to 5? And if they don't see that, a lot of people can be very judgmental. So to kind of work through that, I work through a lot of stuff by writing music, and so this recent song is sort of my indignant retort to that mentality and my perseverance to continue just doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing. Well, yeah, that kind of happens all the time. Just some people are going to like stuff, some people aren't. So there's always a degree of rejection, and that's actually been tough for me because sort of one thing about who I am as a person is I have this really sensitive side that's very sensitive to rejection, high need for approval from everyone, and that's not very healthy, but it's been good that music has sort of forced me to face that, because if I throw something up on YouTube and 50 people like it, and then one person writes a scathing comment, I'll be focusing on that one person. I'll be like, oh, this person hates it, it's terrible, blah blah blah, and then I'll step back from that and I go, wait, Andrew, that's crazy. Someone out there is not going to like that. Get over it. You're doing something for somebody, and as long as there's one person who appreciates what you're doing, that's fine. So it's been good for me to focus on the positive rather than the negative. Get better about it. A lot of struggle with suicidal stuff. One thing that ended up coming out of that, one thing I don't mind sharing, is that I actually struggle with bipolar disorder, and that kind of reared its ugly head. I had sort of a psychotic break from reality when I was 18. And that was probably really exasperated by some tensions between my parents and myself, sort of. me wanting very badly to make my parents proud of me and to have them approve of who I was, versus the growing realization that I was just naturally very outside of their beliefs. So I had to come to terms with that, and it was not pretty. You know, I can't recommend how I ended up handling it to anyone, but it's over with now, and I like where I am now much, much better than where I was back then. Yeah. Well, I think sort of a tough part about high school is everybody's sort of negotiating with themselves how much value to place on the opinion of others versus the opinion of themselves, because everybody wants to have friends and feel accepted and feel like they belong like a part of a group, but also the need to establish your own identity is very, very important. And I would really encourage people to just pursue knowledge of self, understand who you are, understand why you think and feel the way you do, and to just focus on being as honest with yourself as you can be. I think this is it a Macbeth quote? I'm not sure. It's a Shakespeare quote that goes, "To thine own self be true, and thus it follows that you cannot be false to any other man." And I really think there's a lot of truth to that. I think that when you are honest about who you are as a person and you live true to that, you'll sort of automatically get a lot of respect from other people around you. So it kind of takes care of both issues in my experience. Not everyone will respect you for who you are, but enough people will, and those are the right people to be spending your time around. A real friend is someone who knows who you really are and likes you just for that, without anything special added on. So.
Hi, I'm Emily Peterson.
Hi, I'm Eunice Reid.
Hi, I'm Darby Pierce.